freaks, they're animals, they're rapists. Now, that seems like explosive charges. If somebody called me those things, I'd be pretty upset. Now, did you believe that those people there literally were rapists or freaks or animals?
Okay. The context of this is I had just spoken at CPAC, which is on private property at the Boardman. I go outside, I'm talking to people. Next thing I know, I hear chants. Everywhere I go, there are chants. The Occupy people are always there to try and stop my right to speak, stop Sarah Palin's right to speak.
Were they inside?
There were many that were inside that used false means of, faking badges in order to get in there. But these people marched up a private driveway, trespassing, and created a scene which caused so that young kids there, and there are thousands of young kids there, so young kids and old people could not leave the building, and they were chanting intimidating thug-like chants. So I said to my bodyguards, and I don't think you care about this, but when Occupy makes a threat against Andrew Breitbart and states, Mitt Romney has secret security, but Newt Gingrich and Andrew Breitbart doesn't, and I am forced to have private security take care of me. So and you have this group of people threatening against these people, trespassing against them, and being as threatening as humanly possible. Sorry if my blood pressure's a tad high.
All right, so you were angry, and you say it was taken out of context because the context was that you felt...
What was taken out of context?
I guess the video, because in the video, you look like you're out of control.
I stand by precisely what I said, the language. This is a group that is the counter-Tea Party. I spent 2.5 years listening to you and the MSNBC crowd and the radical left frame the Tea Party as racist, 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 racist. They're racist. Everybody's guilty because of some sign in Tallahassee. There have been at least a dozen documented rapes across the country at Occupy. What is the appropriate response to rape when that happens? It's to report it to the police. But twinkles down, let's not report it. Why? At the Occupy, why won't they report it? Because they don't want to hurt the image of it. I am holding your movement, the Occupy movement, to the same standard that you've held the Tea Party.
Okay, let me address that. First of all, if you actually watch the Young Turks, we said,
hey,
listen, thank you.
And I created your career. I created the Huffington Post.
Oh, you did? I didn't know that.
I did. The Huffington Post, you and Dalai Magna.
Andrew, listen, we both have to talk, okay? So, now, on the Young Turks, yes, I get frustrated at the Tea Party, but I told everybody you can't hold people responsible for those signs. Now, there were people who spat on those congressmen.
No, they didn't.
Now, you claim since there was a video of it, it doesn't exist.
No.
All right, we got to go one by one. We got to go one by one. We got to go one by one.
You just brought it up.
Okay. And so I was saying, no, not everybody had those. In fact, I give the Tea Party a lot of credit. I think that they are frustrated with the establishment. We feel the same frustration with the establishment. But I think that they were misdirected.
You brought up the spitting.
Andrew, you got to let me finish. We got to go back and forth, okay? So now I think they were frustrated at the establishment, right? But when you go out there and say, call these people rapists, what I'm trying to get at...
stop raping people.
Stop raping people.
I'm saying to the Occupy movement writ large, because the mainstream media will not report on the rapes because it's trying to protect it.
I have quotes for you.
This is a stunt in order to go over the mainstream media.
Let me see if I can show you all of these.
Wait, this is a stunt in order to go over the mainstream media to get people talking about the rapes. This is something you have not talked about in your show. The Huffington Post has written a book on Occupy and not mentioned that between October and November of the first month of Occupy, there were countless rapes. There were sexual assaults. People were getting groped there.
So let's do
and you would go to Zuccotti. There was even a place called the Ghetto. The Ghetto. Why? Because there was so much crime there. We had a young gal by the name of Chandler who took us on a tour there, and we asked, is it safe for women there? And she said, no, it's not. She said, the problem here, and this is on tape, this is Chandler, they all go by their anonymous names. Do you know what she said? She said, the reason why it's so dangerous is because a group that used to be called Acorn, she didn't even know what it was. A group that used to be called Acorn is paying dangerous people to be here at $100 a day.
All right, now you brought up a lot of issues there. Hopefully we'll have time to take them one by one. So first of all, you said it was not reported by the mainstream media or the Huffington Post. Let me show you here graphic A17. Here's a headline in the Huffington Post. Occupy protesters wrestle with growing security concerns. And in the article, they talk about assault, drug dealing, drug use, rape, and attempted rape.
And I said the Huffington Post book.
Okay, so the Huffington Post has covered
right.
it.
No,
it has
I
covered
said the Huffington Post book.
Okay,
it's trying
so the
to,
Huffington Post has covered it.
No, I said the Huffington Post
So now
book.
let's go to ABC News.
I said the Huffington Post book.
ABC News headline, sexual assaults reported at occupied camps. Man arrested for 2 rapes in New York's Zuccotti Park. Sex offender arrested at occupied Dallas. Sexual assault occupied Cleveland. I have Yahoo News. I can go on and on and on. So you see that they have covered it.
The local news has been pretty good on it, but I would say that...
That was ABC News, Huffington Post, Yahoo News.
Okay.
That was not local
With
news.
that many rapes, with that many assaults, with that many sexual assaults, we're talking about a movement that has been protected from day one, where these crimes are treated as they're somehow a matter of fact, or the imaginary crimes, the non-existent crimes, the central crimes that I can prove, and I'll bet you $1 million that I can prove to you that Congressmen Carson and Lewis lied when they walked down the steps and claimed that the N-word happened. Well,
okay,
it became a dominant narrative in the mainstream media.
That these guys did cover it. Now, you're saying that, well,
they hardly covered it.
You're saying that the Occupy movement.
You're
saying that the Occupy movement, that there has been rapes. So what you're doing is you're smearing the entire movement with what some.
I am holding
some people. Hold on, let me finish. With what some people, and oftentimes, almost all of these instances, were not part of the movement that came in to abuse the people that were in that movement. So can I then paint with the same broad stroke and say, hey, you are part of a group, Republicans and conservatives, who like to have gay sex in bathrooms, all right, and gay sex with prostitutes, and then smoke crack off their ass. So if I came up to you and your group of friends and I started saying, hey, stop having gay sex in bathrooms, stop having gay sex in bathrooms, behave yourself, would that be fair? Would that be fair?
Well, first of all, I can't wait to isolate that clip for the fun of it and put it out there on the internet. That was great.
Okay, but you see what I'm saying? And what I'm trying to understand, Andrew, is if you're doing it on purpose, like you know you're being unfair, or do you think like you're being eminently fair? Like, do you really think that you can smear the whole movement with what people outside the movement did? Really?
You're going to have an entire half hour to talk about this. I'm being too fair because fair is playing by the same rules. Fair. Playing by the same rules that you and NBC, the Huffington Post, played against smearing the Tea Party. There is no more central smear than the false charge, the provably false charge, that Congressmen Carson and Lewis, walking down the Cannon steps, were surrounded by a mob and had the N-word hurled 15 times while they were surrounded by a mob, while they thought that people were going to throw rocks. I have 4 videos of them walking down unobstructed, 4 videos of them at the exact place that Jesse Washington from the AP said that they were walking down, and they shut up. I offered $100,000 for any proof it happened. They went silent. It is still used against the Tea Party. Will you apologize to the Tea Party for this false smear that has been resurrected by you again this evening and the mainstream media over and over to try and hurt the Tea Party? I'm being more than fair.
All right, so what I just heard from you is that you're playing by the same rules.
It's called those that live in glass houses should not throw stones.
So you said they smeared, so what you're doing is also smearing. So you
They were in the middle of
So you were doing a false smear on Occupy there.
Of people,
you just admitted you were doing a false smear on Occupy,
What I'm doing is there were trespassers there. They were trespassing on private property, trying to intimidate people, which is what they've been able to get away with over and over and over and over and over.
It was a smear. It was a smear. You just said it was a smear.
No, I don't think it's a smear.
You said I'm playing by the same rules, and I'm smearing them.
It's an accurate reflection of a movement that suppresses the rapes, on purpose. As long as they suppress the rapes, they're complicit. As long as they suppress, as long as they say we shouldn't go to the police, they are part of a movement that is suppressing the rapes.
You talk about tapes, right?
Yes.
So now you claim because the congressman did not have it on tape, it couldn't have been true.
We have the video.
Right. So that
it proves it. Will you show it on another show?
About this
Will you show it on another show? I can prove it.
And I'm going to be honest with you. I don't trust you. And I'll tell you why. Okay? And I'll tell you my own failings, too. Look, you were right on the Wiener story, okay? And I was wrong on that. And I came out on the show and I said, hey, you know what? It was Wiener, obviously, after the fact. And I got that one wrong, okay? But when I look at the Acorn tapes that every prosecutor that looked at it said it was heavily edited.
Every liberal leftist prosecutor.
But he didn't go in the pimp outfit.
Why did they come after me? Bring it on. Bring it on. What did I do wrong?
He didn't
Name
go
one
in the
thing
pimp
that
outfit.
I did wrong. Name one thing.
You put
Name one thing that I did wrong.
Well, that's exactly what I'm doing. That's exactly what I'm doing.
I'm ready.
All right, so there's Acorn, where he did not go in the pimp outfit to those places. There was no violation of the clothes. Hold on, let me finish. You asked me a question.
Okay,
all right, and then Shirley Sherrod.
He did go in.
Andrew, we got to go one at a time. You got to go one at a time. Listen,
I'm trying to go one at a time.
Listen,
you just said that the thing about the pimp
and you
outfit.
asked me about the different things why I don't trust you and the problems with the tape. So Acorn was one, but Shirley Sherrod, much more important. Now, there was a tape that showed that she was not talking about how she was currently racist. She mentioned something that she had done in the past, and if you saw the whole context of the tape, she says she learned from that, and it's important that everybody treat each other equally. You put the portion of the tape where it only talked about the past, and you didn't give the context. So my question to you is, did you know at the time, had you watched the whole tape and thought, I'm going to do it anyway, because I want to smear her? Or have you not watched the tape and thought, who cares, let's put it up and see what happens? I'm genuinely like...
Are you? Then you're going to let me speak.
I want to know.
Okay, absolutely. You ever hear of a guy by the name of Chris Matthews?
Yes, absolutely.
Is he a conservative?
I would say that he is mainstream.
Okay. Well, all of this was going on, and Glenn Beck's show cut it into 10 and 15-second clips on his radio show. Then he went on TV to say that, I didn't do it, I didn't touch it. Yes, he did on his radio show. This thing was distorted by Glenn Beck at first, and they were worried that it would be on Glenn Beck's TV show. My video that was posted actually has a part where she said, but then I realized it's not about black versus white, it's about rich versus poor. That is the central part of her narrative of redemption. No. In the article, yes, it is. And in my
You said that it was a story of redemption, and Shirley Sherrod
learned
had from it?
That's in the video. That's in. Wait.
Is that how you framed it?
Wait. Let me finish, okay? Because you're saying that I cut it out, okay? That I kept out the redemptive part. It's in there. It's in there. In my article, she's not even mentioned until over halfway into the article. This is about the NAACP resurrecting the N-word charge about how they said that Congressmen Carson and Lewis were 15 times, 6 months after I proved that it wasn't true, and nobody would show those videos. I said, those that live in glass houses shouldn't throw stones. And what is found on that tape is a woman who said, and then I sent the white farmer on to one of his own kind, saying, if I use that language against you, you would say that's a dog whistle and he should be kicked off of being on television forever. And so the audience, when she was talking about that, is murmuring in agreement with what she said. I was holding that crowd, the NAACP, to the same exact standard that Janine Garofalo, Keith Olbermann, you, and all of the left people in the media were holding the Tea Party to. In the actual article that nobody read, it said eventually her basic humanity informs her to help the white farmer. This is all about...
Look, Andrew, everybody saw it. You framed the article.
No, they didn't. I just told you the truth.
She had done this to white people.
I just told you the truth.
And you said, as you just explained there, hey, you know what? The NAACP went along with it, but they did not go along with it. The whole story was a redemptive story. That's what they went along with.
You're wrong about that, because the NAACP at the very end said, we apologize for the audience behavior. That was the target that I meant to hit, was the NAACP, which was manufacturing a false smear for political purposes.
Have you ever apologized to Shirley Sherrod? Last question.
Why would I? Why
would you? Because she was fired based on an out-of-context framing that you did.
She said that I want to bring black people back to slavery without evidence. Her husband said, do you know what her husband said? Her husband says, we need to get rid of the white people and the...
when did he say that? When?
A couple of years ago. We need to get rid of the white people and the Uncle Toms that get them elected.
No, you're doing it again, and without saying the whole context. That's why we don't trust you, Andrew, because you never show the context.
Everything I told you was true. Everything I told you was true.
I got to take the break. I'm way over. But look, I appreciate that you came in. I appreciate we had the conversation. I hope we can do it again on other topics, okay? All right, Young Turks, we'll be right back.